What's going on, guys? Welcome to Fantasy Scholars. First of all, thank you for everyone who showed up to the stream last night. I'm definitely going to keep those streams going throughout the season. Now, something we discussed in the streams was when we should be trading players and when we should be really targeting these players and how we should time it. Now, this is key. First of all, and I've said this a lot, fantasy baseball specifically is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's very easy to just kind of look at a player and be like, oh, they are really bad in the first week, let me trade them away. Or, wow, this player is doing really well, he may do this the rest of the season. That is not always the case. So when should you be targeting these players? Now, I'm going to do specific videos of like buy now, sell now players starting tomorrow, and I'll do those throughout the season. Like, I want to go over some tips and mistakes people are making. First of all, you want to be selling the players that are really, really hot, that you just feel are not a good fit for your team or you're kind of worried about. So for an example, Tyler Naquin is on an absolute tear this season so far. He's never done that in his career where he's leading the league in home runs and he's just looking really good. So you want to take those players similar to him and trade them away. Now, when you are trading for players that you really like, you want to be targeting the players that are cold at that time that you feel like they're going to be really good the rest of the season. Let me target them when they are cold. Because the big issue is people get really excited about a player who's looking really good and they're just on a tear and they're like, I need to go trade for this player. You're going to be stuck giving up a lot for that player. So it's all about timing. Wait for that player to cool down a bit and then target that player. Because I've seen in a lot of leagues, people are freaking out like, this player is just not producing and I want to trade them. No, wait it out until they're hot and then trade them to get a bigger value. Now, timing it is definitely pretty tricky because you don't want to time it where a player gets hurt for some reason and then you're like stuck with this player and he's hurt for like 2 months and you're like, gosh, I thought about trading this player too. So you want to really time it where they're hot for like a week and a half, because you have to think that like a lot of these managers are actually like really quick to just trade away players and trade for players. If a player's hot for a week, they may be like, oh my gosh, I need to get that player. So use that to your advantage because you know deep down like maybe this player is just not going to produce at a high level throughout the season. So when you're trading for players, you want to get the cold players, the guys like Anthony Rizzo and Marcelo Ozuna who are just not producing right now, but these guys are really good. We're in a first week of the fantasy season. They're going to be fine the rest of the year. So you want to be targeting those players that are cold. It's all about timing and what fits for your team. Now, the trickier one is pitchers because after one bad start, most people are kind of like, oh, they'll be fine the next start. Now, if there are two bad starts, that's kind of when you're like, okay, maybe I should go after this pitcher. But people are not as quick to really trade those pitchers away as they are to turn on hitters because hitters are going every single day. And that's different from like fantasy football where you can look at a week to week kind of basis and say, okay, well, this week they're not good, but the next 3 weeks they may be good, so I'm going to hang on to them. But fantasy baseball, you're staring at that screen every day, looking at your player going like 0 for 3, 0 for 4, and you're like freaking out. But then it's very easy to look at the players that are, going 2 for 4, 2 homers and stuff and go crazy about them and be like, oh my gosh, they're going to be amazing. And then they go into the slump. Slumps happen in baseball. You get hot and you get cold. Hopefully this helped you guys, and I'm going to definitely come out with buy now and sell now trade targets next week. See you guys later.